Welcome to another solo episode. Obviously, like many people on Instagram, and there's something that came across to my feed which I think you might enjoy. It's basically about storytelling. And of course, when you have storytellers, there are different ways you can listen to stories, obviously reading them. And of course, on the podcast, I have many guests to talk about their journey and their story. And sits very well with me. And I think this actual Instagram post that I came across sums it up perfectly. Of course, I'll link the Instagram posts directly in the show notes for you to follow and read. I'm going to storytelling died the day it became a strategy. Everyone's telling stories, almost no one's telling the truth. And it goes on to say, you're not sharing a story, you're performing one. Scripted, sanitized, market tested. It hits the beats, but it doesn't hit the heart because people don't want another brand journey, they want honesty. The mess, the tension, the truth. Storytelling isn't about structure, it's about saying the thing nobody else will. Yeah, I did feel the same way about storytelling because obviously I publish these episodes. At the heart of it, I needed it to be honest and raw. For me, it wasn't about necessarily selling anything. It was more resonating with other creatives who could say, yeah, that's me. How can I solve this problem? Do I need to solve it? Shall I accept who I am? You can get to this point in the marketing journey, you could say, where you just only tell stories because you want something out of someone. And for me, the reason why I started this podcast was also to build kind of a trust aspect to it. When you listen to these people that I've spoken to, they're genuine, they're honest. And of course, like with many artists and designers, we focus onto our work, we hide behind our work sometimes. And I've always wanted to know why, as creators, we design and do what we do. And for those who are very honest and brave enough to come onto the podcast, and I thank them for doing so, I was very taken aback to realize that we have a lot in common as designers. And if the people who have actually spoken about their story open up and share their experiences, being their creative, positive or negative, it shows to me that we can learn from each other and we can gain more insights about as being human beings, being creative, being artists, designers, what makes us tick. And it doesn't always have to be about, okay, I'm going to tell my story. This is what I want to gain from it. When I was coming up with even just constructing episodes for future podcasts, I had a strategy. Don't get me wrong, I still do, but it never sat very well with me. And of course, you've got your AI and you put all the information in your chat GPT, and I churned out all the same questions and answers. People want to connect with human beings at the end of the day. And when we're creating as designers and artists, we problem solve, but who are we doing it for? We're doing it not just only for ourselves, but we're doing it for each other. We're communicating. And through centuries and centuries, we've been communicating through our work and messaging how we feel. We aren't silly. We know when we're being sold to. So I'm hoping that when you listen to the stories on this podcast, that they feel genuine and I can hear that conversation when I play it back. I can hear the tone of voice, the aha moments, the moments where they can't believe they said certain things or they reflect on things that they've done. And it opens up many other conversations. I'm kind of trying to pull you out as a designer and call you out and say, you don't necessarily have to hide if you are hiding behind your work. You need to step out beyond your art. You, as someone said, and I will link them again down below. I can't remember off the top of my head. They said, "You are your art. You are the work. The work is nice to have. It's nice to show, but at the end of the day, you are the art. You are the design. You are the thought thinker." And loads of people resonate, and probably there's brands you can think of that you can say, yeah, why am I buying from this person? Why am I buying from this artist? At the end of the day, you're buying because you're interested in what they are interested in. You believe their story. You can resonate with their life. You can see certain patterns in their mannerisms or the way that they communicate. And you can see stuff in your history, in your past, and think, yeah, I know someone who could relate to this artist or creator or entrepreneur. So I just want to know if you could tell me if there was a story that you've heard and you immediately thought called BS on it, and you thought, nah, they're faking it. They're not telling me everything. What was that spidey sense, that tingling sensation when you realize what was the moment you realized that they weren't telling you the full story, that they were telling you a strategy, they were telling you a sales pitch? What was it you felt that wasn't real about that story? Be curious to know. If you left a comment, you can DM me and be curious to know what you thought. What was the penny that dropped that you thought, no, this isn't real. This is a strategy, not a real heartfelt story. Be good to know your thoughts on that matter. Until the next episode, I'll speak to you soon.